how many of you guys think you know what cancer is? Okay. Well, according to Zing, cancer is a stem cell that are functionally defined as self-renewing multipolar cells that exhibit multi-lineage differentiations. So basically, in English, that's basically like we have our old cells, and they end up dying out, and we create new cells. But when a person has cancer, these old cells, they don't die out, and they become abnormal cells, and they end up becoming cancerous cells. And according to an article by Pollack, 1,500 to 2,000 children are diagnosed with just brain tumors. And that's just brain tumors. There's millions of other cancers, and the numbers would change drastically. So, over my speech, I want to cover what it is, how it affects children, and how they are being treated. When I was 3 years old, my little sister was diagnosed with cancer at a year old, and I seen her struggle every single day to see the next day. So, which is why I put this quote: "Their laughter will make your heart melt. Their strength will make a grown person cry. If you ever see a child fight cancer, it will change your life forever." This really impacted my life, so I really want to inform you guys about brain tumors to the best of my knowledge. So brain tumors are self-explanatory. They're literally like a tumor in your brain which create cancer cells. Brain tumors are found with an MRI, which is a magnetic resonance imaging. Basically, a child they get daily checkups monthly, and they enter. It's like a really big, sort of like a tube, and they go in there and they lay down, and they can't move an inch, and they digitally see their brain like this, and their whole brain is this, and when they see the tumor, it comes out as a white spot. So they see how if it's growing or getting smaller. According to Kono, they use diffusion-weighted images that have been used to study various diseases. So they also do something called DWIs, which aren't really common, but they're basically the same thing as MRIs. They're like CT scans and X-rays put in one together. Next, I want to talk about the effects of brain tumors. It varies between how bad your tumor is growing and how small it is, but since it's in your brain, your nervous system starts back here, so it could affect your nervous system either drastically or a little bit. Like you could end up in a stroke and you'll have struggle walking, or you'll only be able to use half of your body, or it could get to a really bad case where you'll end up with paralysis. According to Rupai, synthesis of MMPs is thought to be regulated by growth factors, cytones, and hormones. So basically, a child with a brain tumor, you guys might think this little girl is like 5 years old, but she could be 10 years old. Because what brain tumors do is they stop your body from growing mentally and physically. A child can look like they're 5 years old, but really they're 10 years old, but that's because this brain tumor doesn't let them grow in size. And mentally, because this child could be 10 years old, but will have the mind of a 5-year-old, just because the brain tumor doesn't let her grow. And next, I want to talk about treatments. So there's many treatments for this type of cancer and all types of cancer, but the main ones I want to talk about is chemotherapy. According to Penny, chemo is often impeded by insufficient drug delivery across the blood-brain barrier. So basically, since we have these old cells that we have to create new cells, this chemo, since the cancer keeps those old cells, the chemo is a drug that is inserted through a vein, or you could take pills. It's based on the patient's whatever they want, but what it basically does is they take those old cells and they kill them, and the chemo provides new cells, but it has effects on it like hair loss and obvious stuff. And also, when a brain tumor, it gets really big, like in the previous slides, like that white spot, if it gets bigger to like where it could be like the size of your palm, surgeons, they call in a surgeon because it's really really dangerous when it gets like really big, because it could literally end up resulting in death. So how doctors treat this is they get a surgeon and they open up their side right here and they try their best to take out as much of the brain tumor as they can, because it can't be taken off completely, because it's literally attached to the brain. So I explained to you guys what it is, how it affects people, and the treatments given to these children. And I really hope everyone learned a few things about brain tumors, because I am not a doctor, but I basically know everything there is about them, because I've lived in a hospital for a few months. And as bad as you guys think, and as J. Cole says, you'll never be happy till you love yours.